Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Our first guest today has quite an impressive career. I mean, that's an understatement. She's worked at Google. She helped launch Netflix in the Middle East and worked with, right? We could just stop there. But she's also worked with several Fortune 500 companies. Now she's sharing her story and playbook for success with all of us in a new book. Here it is, 7 Rules of Self-Reliance. It's all about investing in yourself and your own future. Audience, start clapping for author Maha Abouelenein.
I'm so happy to be here. I love the show. I'm so happy.
I'm so glad you're here. Maha, welcome here. Welcome to be here. I'll be able to speak English by the end of the show.
By the end of it, yeah, you'll be fine.
I'm just so glad you're here.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm thrilled that you're here. Why did you want to write that book?
I feel like in today's day and age, we have everything at our fingertips, right? Everything, we have access to it. Well, what if we, instead of putting all of our energy into other people, put that love and energy into ourselves? And the concept of self-reliance is about investing in yourself, giving yourself all the cards in your hand. And I felt like it's a really good time with AI and with what's happening on social. Why don't we take a step and put it into ourselves first and invest in ourselves?
Was this something that was instilled in you at a young age?
Yeah, I grew up in Mankato. I grew up in Minnesota. I lived here my whole life. And my parents, my father in particular, was really adamant that me and my sister, he raises strong girls who know how to take care of themselves. And no matter what you want to achieve in the world, you can do it, but it starts with you. And you shouldn't be expecting people to do things for you. You shouldn't be waiting for people to do things for you. Take the first step. And that was what inspired the book.
What do you think is one of the biggest, because I completely agree with you, what do you think is one of the biggest, I don't want to say mistakes, because even mistakes, you know that. You can learn from them. I mean, 100%. Missteps are opportunities. I know it sounds like something HR tells you before they fire you, but yeah. But what, we're going to allow you to succeed someplace else. That's right. But what do you think is, for everybody, no matter the profession, and you've worked with some big companies, but all of us, no matter what do you think is the biggest barrier for our own success?
I think we're afraid to fail. We're afraid of the judgment of others. And we don't trust ourselves. Like, we don't listen to our guts. Like, we know what's best for us. We shouldn't let other people decide. And I feel that's the biggest barrier. Like, for me, for the longest time, I was always like waiting for someone to bring me an opportunity, waiting for someone to invest in me, waiting for someone to give me a promotion. And I'm like, wait, I have access to the internet, access to knowledge. Why don't I try to figure out what I can do first instead of waiting for other people? And that was a game changer.
I will say, I always try, connecting with you on this, I will say, I call it touch every floor.
I love that.
Touch every floor. What I mean by that is, I don't care what business you're in, you go up, and this goes on goes along with you make your own opportunity. You know, luck can get you in the room. Luck can open the door, but it's your hard work that will keep you in that room. And I always say, touch every floor. No matter where you work, you talk to everybody. Don't you believe in that?
Yeah, a couple of things I learned early in my life. One, don't step on people on the ladder because you're going to see them on the way back down, so don't use people. No job is beneath you. I grew up and lived in Minnesota, lived here till I was 27. I worked at General Mills. I was loving my life in the U.S., and my mom had MS, multiple sclerosis, and my dad ended up getting ALS, and they wanted to move to Egypt. I got to Egypt, and I took a job as a secretary. And I didn't want to take that job because I thought I was overqualified. But the lesson here is nothing is beneath you. If you put in the hard work, if you try to take that role, which I didn't want to take, and show them what I was capable of doing, I can turn it into what I can do. So touching every floor is key. I had to be networking with people at the front office. I had to be working with the managers and the leaders and all the people in the company. You have to put in the hard work and hustle. There are no shortcuts.
No. And it's also, I think do you believe what you put out into the universe, and this isn't a religious thing, this isn't a spiritual Oprah woo-woo thing, what you put out there will come back to you, because really, truly.
Yeah.
Because because my mom raised me to believe no job, nobody is beneath you, Jason.
Nobody.
And there was a maintenance man that I worked with at my first TV job. We were in the middle of the night. It was me, a photographer, and this man who some people would look down on because of his occupation. That man meant the world to me, and he was the one that recommended me for a promotion because nobody knew who I was.
Wow.
And it was a bang moment of like, oh, this is what my mom taught me.
Yeah, one of the rules of self-reliance is learning how to give value to other people. We live in such a society today, Jason, where we're like, transaction, give and take, what's in it for me? And I'm saying don't do that. Be a giver, give value to people and something that's meaningful with good intention, and it will come back to you.
Reputation, think of your reputation as currency. What do you mean by that?
I think like a lot of people have a reputation and they think I can't control it or I can't do anything to build it or grow it or protect it or invest in it. And I'm teaching people the power of your name, the power of your personal brand, and anybody can have that. And your reputation is so valuable. Treat it like currency. What's its worth, what's its value, and how do you invest in it? I
got to tell you, there's a lot of books that talk about stuff like this, but what I loved about you, and I'm so glad that Bjorn booked you, is because you're plain spoken, and this just makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, and I know you're going to help a lot of people. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Really, truly. Give it up for Maha, everybody. Be sure to grab a copy of her book, 7 Rules of Self-Reliance, right there. If you're watching us locally, she'll be at the Twin Cities Book Festival happening this weekend. If you're watching us from around the country, y'all know where to get books. We'll be right back in a moment. Thank you, Maha.
I'm a huge fan of yours. I have no idea.